Steve, do men have hair on their feet?
Well, yeah, I think so. At least some. Most men do. But in this episode, God is going to shave the hair off of men's feet.
This is the Bible in fewer words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 181, Isaiah, chapters 6 through 12. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Carol.
Are we ready for this one?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, I think.
Great. Let's go. Chapter 6. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw God sitting on a throne. The seraphim stood above him. Each had 6 wings. 2 wings covered their face, 2 covered their feet, and they flew with the other 2. All right, that's a weird thing. What the heck is a seraphim?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that needs to be explained here. One is that the time period. This happened somewhere around 739 BCE. That's the year, people seem to think, that Uzziah died. So this was right before the Assyrians invaded. Remember how we had 2 kingdoms, Israel and Judah?
Yes.
Well, that's the way it is right now. There's 2 kingdoms. But soon, the Assyrians are going to attack Israel, and they're going to destroy Samaria, and they're going to take away the 10 tribes of Israel. The Assyrians are going to take them away. Mm-hmm. So that's the time period that we're dealing with here.
Okay.
And then the next thing that's interesting, Isaiah sees God sitting on a throne.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, it says right there, I saw God. That's a strange thing because people aren't supposed to be able to see God. I mean, it happens all the time in the Bible, right?
Yes.
But you're not supposed to be able to see God and live, but Isaiah did. So there's that. And then we got the seraphim. And the seraphim here are strange creatures. They actually first show up in the book of Numbers. Remember, we had those...
Oh, they were snakes.
Yeah, there were snakes that were biting people and killing people. And then Moses ended up putting a seraphim or a snake up on a pole.
Oh, yeah.
Those were seraphim.
Oh.
Seraph is the singular, seraphim is the plural.
Okay.
And these seraphim are winged.
Oh.
They have 6 wings, right?
Uh-huh.
2 to fly with, 2 to cover their feet, and 2 to cover their face, because they're shy.
Yeah, that's weird. Snakes don't fly.
Well, they might. Sometimes they're talked about the fiery serpents. Sometimes they're talked about as being the flying fiery serpents. So, well, apparently the ones that Isaiah is
talking about, yeah,
definitely are flying, right? Because they have 6 wings and 2 are for flying. 2 are to cover their feet.
Okay, and feet, we have difficulty with that word in the Bible.
We do.
It's not really feet, it's penis.
And that area there, they're covering that with their wings.
Like, when men are naked and don't want to be, they kind of cross one leg over the other and their hands.
I like that, yeah. I guess it's kind of their underwear. Uh-huh. The note in the HarperCollins Study Bible says that feet, in this case, is a euphemism for genitals.
Okay.
Okay, so verse 3 says, they cried to each other, saying, God is holy, holy, holy. There was a loud voice that moved the doorposts, and the house filled with smoke. Then I said, woe is me, because I have unclean lips, and I live with people who have unclean lips, and my eyes have seen God.
Uh-huh. Unclean lips? That's different than uncircumcised lips.
I guess it is, yeah. This is the only reference to the phrase unclean lips. Uncircumcised lips, who is that?
That is Moses.
Moses, yeah. Moses has uncircumcised lips.
Okay, I get a red star for that.
Yeah, you do.
Verse 6. Then one of the seraphim flew over to me with a live coal in his hand, and he laid it on my mouth and said, ouch. He laid it on my mouth and said, lo, this has touched your lips. Your sins are taken away.
Ah, yeah.
And your lips are burned, is what I would say.
Yeah. I also heard God say, who should I send? And I said, here I am, send me.
And that's Isaiah talking?
Yeah.
And Isaiah is not a seraphim, right? Isaiah is a
prophet. No,
Isaiah
is just a guy.
Oh, he's a guy. He's not a prophet.
He is a prophet.
Okay.
Major prophet, they call him.
Okay. God said, go tell the people, you'll hear but won't understand, see but won't perceive. Make their hearts fat, their ears heavy, and their eyes shut, so that they won't understand or be converted or be healed. Okay,
That's a plan, isn't it?
doesn't God want all these people to do all those things? To be able to see, to be able to understand, to
No.
be able to be converted?
No, he very clearly doesn't. He wants just the opposite.
Okay.
He wants to make sure that whatever he tells the people, he tells them in such a way so that they'll hear but won't understand. Yeah, all that stuff.
Okay.
And this was one of Jesus' favorite expressions. He used it in the Gospels frequently, as we'll see. And he was pulling this from Isaiah. I'm saying these parables to you so that people won't understand what I'm talking about.
Clever.
Yeah, clever and nice, right?
Uh-huh.
Then I said, how long? And God said, until everyone in the cities is dead.
That's a good plan.
Uh-huh.
Chapter 7. When Ahaz was king of Judah. Okay, so Uzziah was king of what?
Judah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a later king after Uzziah.
Okay. When Ahaz was king of Judah, Syria and Israel went to war against him. God said to Isaiah,
Go meet Ahaz and say to him, Don't be afraid of them. They are making evil plans against you, saying, Let's go fight against Judah. It won't happen.
Okay. God said to Ahaz, Ask me for a sign.
Ahaz said to God, I won't ask. That would be tempting God.
God said to Ahaz, I'll give you a sign anyway. A young woman is pregnant, and she will bear a son, and will call his name Emmanuel.
He'll eat butter and honey, and before he knows the difference between good and evil, Syria and Israel will be destroyed. Did verse 14 sound familiar? A young woman is pregnant.
Yes. Mary.
Yeah, so we should read that in the King James. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel.
I'm confused about that because he's not named Emmanuel. He's named Jesus.
Well, this has nothing to do with Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Christians have used this to claim that this is a reference to Jesus. This is a prophecy about Jesus.
Oh.
But it isn't. It doesn't say a virgin. It says a young woman.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't say she will conceive like sometime in the future. She's conceived already, right now.
Really?
Yeah. And she's going to bear a child whose name is Emmanuel. Of course, Jesus' name never was Emmanuel.
No.
So it doesn't really fit. And I don't know if Jesus ever ate butter and honey or not. But for sure, this last part, while he's still young, Israel and Syria will be destroyed. So he's talking about this destruction of Syria and Israel by the Assyrians in 722. If it's a prophecy at all, it's a prophecy about something that's going to take place immediately.
Okay.
So it doesn't apply to Jesus, but that's the one that you hear.
Uh-huh.
One of the most famous supposed prophecies in the Bible is Isaiah 7:14.
Huh. I had no idea.
Yeah, well, I think that one's pretty clearly not a prophecy about Jesus, but Christians think it is.
Okay. Verse 18. In that day, God will hiss for the fly that is in Egypt and for the bee in Assyria. Okay, this is a weird book.
Yes, it is. Very strange.
Because he did do some hissing. Oh, no, he didn't.
I think he's hissed before. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what this fly and bee thing is, but he's going to do something bad to Assyria and Egypt, right?
Yeah. So the hissing flies, kind of, they buzz a little bit, right? And so do bees.
Yeah, that may be what it's referring to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he will shave with a razor the hair of their feet. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So he's definitely talking about the soldiers, I guess, of the Egyptian and Assyrian soldiers, of the men, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to shave. God's going to get right down there with his razor, and he's going to shave their feet.
Are you sure he's not going to shave the feet of the fly and the bee?
No. The fly and the bee is a metaphor. He doesn't really mean flies and bees.
Okay.
He means the people or the men, the soldiers of Assyria and of Egypt. And God's going to get down there, and he's going to shave. It's going to take a while. But he's going to shave the hair of their feet. Now, that sounds kind of strange.
Yes, it does.
But it's even stranger when you realize that once again, this feet thing is probably not talking about shaving the hair on their feet. He's probably talking about shaving their pubic hair.
Yeah, that's
God's
very
going to
bizarre.
shave the pubic hair of, I don't know, thousands of soldiers.
And is this before they go into battle?
Think what's going to happen, what God's plan is here.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to shave their pubic hair, and they're going to be so embarrassed
Yeah.
that they won't even be able to fight.
Oh, so
But-
his team will win.
Right, they won't even have to fight because the other guys have their pubic hair has been shaved off. And you just can't fight without pubic
Well,
hair.
aren't they wearing something when they're fighting? Who's going to see that their pubic hair is shaved off?
God's big thing is circumcision. Right?
Yeah,
No
yeah.
one sees that.
No one sees it. You're right.
So I would think actually that to do something to mark people,
Mm-hmm.
it would make more sense to shave their pubic hair if you're going to do that, if you're going to do something down there,
Yeah, I guess so.
than to cut off the foreskin, right?
Uh-huh.
Because it's a little easier to tell. Oh, you don't have any pubic hair. You must be an Egyptian, I guess.
That is very weird.
Anyway, God's going to do that.
Uh-huh. Chapter 8. God said to me, "Get a large scroll and write on it the word Maher-shalal Hashbaz."
Very good.
Maher-shalal Hashbaz.
Yeah, that's supposedly the longest name in the Bible.
Looks long.
Yeah, I think there's some dispute about that, but it's certainly one of the longest. And it does have a Hebrew meaning, quickly be to plunder. This is going to quickly happen, that Israel and Syria are going to be plundered by the Assyrians.
Okay. So he's writing that on a poster board, like he's protesting or he's advocating
Yeah,
that.
it's interesting to write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He probably misspelled it.
yeah, probably.
Verse 3, I had sex with a prophetess, and she had a son. God said to me, call him Maher-shalal Hashbaz.
Yeah, that's good. Now that he's written it down, he can get that right, I guess. And the prophetess, the sex with a prophetess, people think that's probably his wife,
Oh,
that she was a prophet. He's a prophet. His wife's
she's a prophetess.
Yeah.
Gird yourselves, and you'll be broken in pieces. I am the one you should fear and dread. Just all kind of confused by that, but
Well,
maybe it'll all become clear.
oh, no, it won't. What it says here is pretty much all that you have.
Okay.
Given this real long name,
Yeah.
supposed to mean this thing, there's going to be some plunder going on,
And
we're
you're
done.
And you're going to have a son, and you're going to call him that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's going to, break people in pieces and stuff. Just the usual.
Yeah. You should be afraid of me.
Yeah. Chapter 9. A son has been born who will control the government. His name is Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, and the Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace.
Those are words from Handel's Messiah.
Yeah, the others were too, I think. But yes, this one is another one that is used frequently as a prophecy about Jesus.
Yes.
And probably the one that I think would be the stronger one of the, compared to the previous one in chapter 7, because it says, he will rule on David's throne forever. Which, of course, Jesus doesn't rule on David's throne.
No.
But Christians kind of like to say, well, he's king, he's king of kings and all that. Forever, so it kind of works.
And so he's going to control the government.
Yeah, and what Jews think about this verse?
Uh-huh.
Because they don't think it's Jesus.
No.
They think this is referring to Hezekiah. Because Hezekiah is coming up. He's going to be born. He's going to be the king that is going to see this destruction that's coming from the Assyrians.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And remember, he was remember what was special about him? One of the things.
I can't right now.
Best king ever.
Oh, best king ever.
Best king ever. Nobody was better before him or after him.
Wonderful counselor.
Yeah,
mighty God. That's kind of
mighty
weird.
God. That's kind of a lot of times people have talked about as being God's people in the Bible.
Okay.
But that is weird. The mighty God thing. I don't have an explanation for that. But anyway, that's what the Jews tend to think this is referring to.
Okay. Verse 13. The people didn't turn back to God after he smote them. So God won't have mercy on the young men, fatherless or widows.
Because everyone is an evil hypocrite who says foolish things. God will burn the people in a fire, and the people will eat their right hands, but still be hungry.
Ew.
So they'll eat their left hands, but still not be satisfied. Everyone will eat the flesh of his own arm.
Okay. That's too much for me.
Oh, yeah, it should be too much for anyone.
Yeah.
You say, okay, I'm done here.
I'm done. I'm done.
I don't need to read anymore. If God is predicting this in kind of almost a gleeful way, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like, this is going to happen, and I'm going to make it happen.
Yes. It's that part that bothers me, that God's going to make that happen.
It seems like that's what he's talking about. He's kind of saying this is going to happen because I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, it's going to happen. And woe to those who won't help the poor. Now, you see, now we've got something mixed in. We have about the most horrible thing that someone could possibly say.
Yeah.
And then it's followed by a chapter which doesn't have much in it except for this one verse, which I'm including,
Okay.
which is a good thing.
Yeah. Help the poor.
Help the poor.
Yeah. Chapter 11. A rod will come out of the stem of Jesse, and branch will grow out its roots. So Jesse is a man, a place.
No, Jesse was the father of David.
Oh,
What Christians take from this. Jesus was the son of David. David was the son of Jesse. The rod of Jesse, the stem of Jesse, whatever. This is talking about Jesus. They think. Jews certainly wouldn't agree with that. He'll smite the earth with his mouth and breath and kill all the wicked people. His loins will be girded with righteousness and his kidneys with faithfulness. So, if this is Jesus,
yeah.
then is he really going to smite the earth with his mouth and kill people with his breath? Sounds like Jesus to me.
Yes, it does. Wolves, leopards, and bears will live peacefully with their prey, and lions will eat straw.
Children will safely play with poisonous snakes and put their hands on cockatrice dens.
And what is a cockatrice?
Well,
It looks like a cockroach relative.
a cockatrice is a serpent
Oh,
hatched from a cock's egg
oh.
that can kill at a glance.
So cocks, that's a male chicken.
They're rare nowadays.
I see. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense to me.
But anyway, children are going to be able to play with these creatures.
Uh-huh.
And also with snakes, poisonous snakes.
Yeah, a lot of snake serpent-like things in this chapter, or in these chapters.
And you hear the thing about wolves lying down with lambs,
Yes.
That's where that comes from.
I see.
Yeah.
And God will destroy the Red Sea and dry up the Euphrates River. These things seem kind of disjointed.
Oh, yeah, and that's because I'm pulling things
Oh,
out.
I see.
The Bible really isn't completely to blame for some of this.
You might be to blame for some of this.
Well, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, no.
There's stuff that is in chapter 12, let's say,
Yeah.
that to me didn't really seem to say much of anything except for praise the Lord.
Amen. Okay. We had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we did.
And we are done for today.
Yeah.
So thanks, Steve, for working on this.
Sure.
And listeners, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.